Okay, you guys, I am really excited because today I am joined by Josh Coates. He is a push coach, member of the John Maxwell Team, and founder of Legacy Leadership. He trains some of the top leaders in the network marketing industry, speaks for events and trainings around the country, and runs online courses to help people just like you get results in their business. Now, we've kind of been like running in the same circle, sort of like adjacent circles for years, where I work with a bunch of people in Beachbody who some are in Beachbody, but some are transitioning out. And you've been training some of the top people in the company to help them go to the top. So I've just like heard your name a million times. I've like, creeped on your podcast and things. So I'm just really excited for us to get to chat and for you to just give some golden nuggets to this audience today. So
well, thanks for having me, girl. I appreciate it. We've been playing like the whole messenger tag for a while, busy schedules, but thanks for sticking with me and letting me come on. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So I would love for you to just share like a little bit more, any gaps that were in that intro and just like how you got started in this online space.
Okay. So do you want me to go back all the way to the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
I'm a little bit of a talker, so I have to
I love it.
Okay. You can shut me up anytime you need to. So basically I played music all from the age of like 15 all through my 20s. I also grew up in like a super religious home. So like a lot of the music I played was like in church and kind of was playing in bands like on the side and stuff, like rock bands, whatever. Finally got to the point where like I stepped out, hit the road like with a band. And just to give you like a little bit of like, I'll give you a little bit of preface because it kind of leads to why I still do what I do today. Is I grew up in a very small church, closed-minded people culture. I have nothing against church. I still go to church, but that's just the world I grew up in. Okay. And I watched people sit on pews for like their entire life, praying to God for people, for revival, for basically a whole bunch of, can I say shit on your podcast?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Basically a whole bunch of shit they weren't willing to ever go make happen with any of their own actions. Mm-hmm. It was like, God do this, God do that. Like, okay, you want to get like really funny? This is gonna be, you're gonna laugh so hard. There's like a handful of people listening that grew up like me that are about to laugh so hysterically, and the rest of you are going to probably like call someone. Because basically we used to pray this prayer, and I swear to God, it wasn't written down anywhere, but it always came up. It was like this, like unscripted. It was like an unscripted script, right? Uh-huh. It would be like, God, if you would just, they're going to be just like driving down the street somewhere, and someone is, it's like you're going to grab them and like transport them through time, through space, right here to this parking lot where they can come in here and like repent of their sins and like find you. It's like, but we wouldn't step outside of our door to like say hi to somebody, right? Like,
right.
Like we wanted people to like transcend through time and space, but we wouldn't even like walk out the door to go like shake somebody's hand or hug somebody. So anyways, I, in my 20s, was like sitting and just watching and was just like, honestly kind of disgusted with it. I was like, okay, if I really believe in people and in loving people and I like actually care about people, like I need to get off my ass. And so I was like, I play music. That's what I do. So I'm going to put together a band and we're going to go just like travel around the country and we're going to play music that inspires people, lets them know that they're loved, lets them know that there's hope, lets them know that like there's a dream. And so that was my way of like taking action and like, instead of just like preaching it, like living it. So fast forward a couple of years, I've been detailing cars full time because you don't make money to play music, unfortunately. So we were really poor, was detailing cars during the week, playing music on the weekends. And my youngest son was born with a heart defect. So he went through like 3 different open heart surgeries. Wow. And there was something about the third one. I was just like, I can't keep hitting the road and hoping that 20 years from now we finally like make it big and get paid to do this. Like I need to find something. I want to help people. Like I want to love people. I want to help people pursue dreams, but it needs to be something that doesn't keep me on the road and poor.
I feel like those are pretty good, like, standards.
Right?
Like,
Want to help
setting the bar.
people, don't want to be poor. Okay, let's get started there.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what to do other than the fact that I was already detailing cars 8 hours a day, which meant I was listening to music via headphones 8 hours a day. So she's like, I don't know, let's just like go download some podcasts and see if you can learn something. And fast forward like 3 to 6 months later, I had literally been listening to podcasts 8 hours a day. I mean, it was like my full-time job. I was like, hey, I'm getting paid right now to basically go back to school, but like better than school because I'm learning from actual successful people, right? And so through that, found John Maxwell on a podcast and was like, this dude, I feel like kind of stole my dream. I kind of already had like this idea of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And being super ignorant, I didn't know there was like an entire, like, I mean, now there's like really a whole world of people doing what we do, right? But at that time, it wasn't really as much virtual, but there was still a bunch of them out there, right? They're just like speaking at like corporate events and, you know,
it's so true.
stupid stuff like that. But I didn't know about it. So I come across John Maxwell on a podcast. I'm like, this motherfucker stole my dream. Like, that's what I was going to do. Like, that's what I'd already had it like written out and journaled and stuff. And so I figured,
how dare he? Yeah.
Right? I'm like, apparently he's been doing it like 50 years. Okay. He had the idea before me, 50 years before me. So I ended up signing up for his certification program. And I went through that. And that's kind of how everything turned into what it is now. I went through the certification, did everything they told me to do. To be honest, as far as the business building side of it, a lot of that stuff didn't work.
Yeah.
So I went to social media and I just made shit up. And I just was willing to try everything until I found what I felt like worked. And then I just went all in on it. And over time I've just evolved, like just keep looking for the next thing, you know, like we were joking before we hopped on the air about the Hey Girl messages. That's how I built my business to $10,000 a month. It didn't start with Hey Girl, but they were basically Hey Girl messages.
It's like, hey dude, hey bro. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was sending them to girls. I just wasn't using like the Hey Girl lingo because I didn't even know that lingo yet. I was just literally found people in network marketing. They seem to be the most open to like wanting to work with someone.
Yeah.
And so I just like went all in and messaging every single human that I knew that was in network marketing. Ended up signing a couple Beachbody people and then went all in on literally messaging every homegirl on the planet that had Beachbody. if it said Beachbody in your bio and you had like a halfway professional looking picture, you got a message from Josh Coates in 2015. Like,
that is
hands
amazing.
down, you got one. So that's how I got started. Long story.
No, this is so good. Okay, so what made you choose Beachbody coaches?
So nothing made me choose Beachbody coaches. And just to throw this in there, I do work with all companies. It just happened to be at my wife at the time, we're no longer together, but at that time had signed up with Beachbody. And the girl that she signed up under happened to be like really successful, kind of like an up and coming leader in the company. And so, I mean, like I said, I was messaging everyone in network marketing at the time.
Yeah.
So I messaged her. I was like, I don't even know if you know who I am. You know, like my wife is like on your team. I'm like on the John Maxwell team. Like if you would want to chat, like that'd be awesome. She agreed to take a call with me. She signed on with me. I spoke on a team call for her. She at the time had like not really done team calls. And she just like, she was killing it in the business, but like was struggling a little bit with like confidence as a leader, which is PS little throw in. I have a book that I'm working on, should be released in a couple months, called F Leadership.
I love that.
Because I'm so sick and tired of people thinking they can't succeed because they're not a leader. Like nobody actually knows what a leader is unless you take the time to ask them.
Ooh.
If I were to, and this is of course a life coaching skill, someone's like, I'm not good enough leader, blah, blah, blah. I like to use like little fun girl voies. Most of your listeners are probably girls, so it'll be fun.
It is definitely female driven. Yeah.
Gosh, there's no way. I like to breathe out like that. That's what girls do when they're like frustrated. I'm not good enough of a leader. I'll be like, okay, tell me, what's your definition of a leader? And they'll be like, okay, well, because then they got to like go inside to like look for an answer, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, a leader, has good character. They do what they say. They lead by example. They care about people. They have a purpose. I'm like, okay, which part of that are you not?
Boom. Oh, that's so good.
Like,
Yeah.
like when we get down to our real true depth, and that's kind of what this book is all about, is getting it back to like what leadership really is. And I have like a whole first section that's like 5 chapters that is talking about how a leader's greatest responsibility is production.
Mm.
So many people want to be a leader, but they're not willing to do shit. They're just like the people in the church I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of people who want to stand on stage and talk down to people that weren't willing to like actually go do any of the work so that people would actually want to follow them. So, like, if you ain't going nowhere, of course no one's following you. Like, why would they? Where are they going to go? Where are you going to go? Like, hey, everyone, come stand with me over here. Come join my girl tribe. Come, like, we're going to like drink champagne and get on a Zoom call.
Yes. Well,
Like,
I think
nobody
what's
fucking
so
cares. Like,
yeah.
nobody. They want to know where you're going.
What's so powerful about this too is kind of this idea of, that people want to be a leader. Why? Because on some level they believe that it's going to bring them significance.
Yep.
And so many people are chasing that significance because they actually want love and connection. And they think that by being significant, they'll get love and connection. But like what you're saying is, screw that. Just get down in the trenches and connect with people. Go shake a hand. Go hug somebody. You can get it right now. It's all accessible to you. So I just like had to like, wow, like that just gave me a nice little like full circle, like completed put a little bow on it for me. So thank you. That was so good.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So kind of going deeper into this, when somebody is, because I know you work with primarily network marketers, or that those are like a big a big part of our listeners as well. And guys, if you're not network marketing, this still completely applies to you. Totally. Whether you're trying to attract your ideal customer, your dream client, or a business builder, it's the same foundational pieces. So one of the biggest things that I hear from people is, how do I attract business builders? Like, I don't know about you, but this is like the big pain point.
Yep.
Where are these mystical unicorns that my company's telling me exist and I can't seem to find? So, I mean, I'm sure there's so much within this that we can unpack. So I don't even know where we begin with this, but I'm just going to throw it to you. Like, what is the first layer to attracting business builders?
So for me, it always, every one-on-one client I have, every call I do, we always got to start with the foundation and then build up. Mm-hmm. Are there 10 or 15 different things you could be doing via posts, via stories? Yes, sure. But it's all got to come back to this first. Okay. And the reason I always go here is because I know 90% of people haven't even got this yet. Like you haven't even started with ground one, which is be a business builder. So how are you going to attract business builders if you aren't, like, literally get on calls with people all the time and they're like, no one wants to work, no one wants to do this, no one wants to do this. Now within like the Beachbody circle, we have there's kind of this like area called Diamond. And every company has this like one rank where the company recognizes you as a leader and probably sends you a jacket.
Yep.
Right. And you'll be recognized for the rest of your life for hitting this thing. And it's almost like this thing where people allow it to make them feel like they've earned something, they've gained something. And now the only way they can rank up is to get other people to also go diamond, because then they become a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. Every company has a different like way of saying that, but in a sense, the way you rank up is helping other people rank up, correct?
Yep.
So here's what I always tell them. They're like, I literally a call this morning, like, no one else is building, I've hit Success Club 70,000 months in a row. And I'm like, here's the thing. You are doing the company minimum and then getting pissed that no one else is willing, again, to come along for the ride. Mm-hmm. You ain't going nowhere. Like, you are literally, so what is it called? The Energy Bus. One of my favorite books ever. It teaches leadership in kind of like a story format.
Oh, I love it.
There's this girl that's a bus driver, and literally people come onto her bus and she kind of teaches them like positive thinking and like all of these like lessons around personal development. And kind of like one of the main points of the book is that you are always in control of the energy of your bus. And so one of my favorite like little analogies that I like to use is that nobody in the world wants to go ride the parked bus. You
I love it. Yeah.
you got to get in there and you got to drive that thing every single day. And here's something that I hear from people a lot is they're like, yeah, but I don't want to leave people behind. And I think that that comes back to the mountain analogy that makes a really good growth analogy, but a really terrible leadership analogy. Because with mountains, that's how we kind of think of growth, is it's like a climb, right?
Right.
So people are like, well, if I climb too far up the mountain, I leave everybody behind. And that's a bad leader, right?
Yeah.
That's your personal growth and that's your personal performance and where you're trying to go to. But as far as leadership goes, it's more like a bus route. And you have got to run that thing every single day to take it to a place, or no one wants to join. But the beauty is, if they don't join today, you're coming right back around for them tomorrow. Like,
I love that.
you're literally not leaving them behind. You're just keeping your promise to the people who bought a ticket. And like, how many times are people buying tickets and then we're not fulfilling the promise we made them to go anywhere because of all of the other people that are still in line to get a ticket, or, to be real, haven't got in line at all? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh, this is so good, because this is going to like give a nice sweep kick to all the people who are talking a really good game. And guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. But sometimes all of us need to get called on our BS a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really all my business is.
I love it.
It's just a sweep kick.
Yeah.
Just put everybody on their ass, because we do. I mean, we like to pretend, if we post on social media every day and we use our products, that we are like doing something.
I'm working my business.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, I have an 11-year-old kid that works 10 times harder than most of you on social media.
Oh, rough.
He's like, look how many followers I got on YouTube, Dad. Look how many subscribers I got. He's like, did you know, Dad? Did you know that if you go and subscribe to X amount of channels, X amount of them will subscribe back to yours? I'm like, yeah, I did know that, but I'm like really proud of you as an 11-year-old kid for knowing that, because most network marketers that claim to do this thing full time, like, wouldn't even go to that trouble to build their following. You got like 400 followers on Instagram and you can't figure out why your engagement sucks. Well, I'll tell you why it sucks. Because you have 400, like your mom and your dad and your sister and then 300 robots followed you.
Yeah. Oh, God, the robots.
So like, yeah, your engagement sucks. But so how do I build builders? The first thing is you take ownership.
Yeah.
And in reality, that's like the first step to every single question and every single problem that every human has, is anytime you're thinking about how do I get this, anything external, okay? Always bring it back to internal. It's like, how do I grow? How do I take ownership? Now, if you're someone doing that, okay, everything else becomes so easy, because really from there, it's really just about the message. If you are owning it, you are moving forward, okay? At some point, we gotta stop talking about how fun and easy and, oh my God, join the party. We gotta like, okay, if you want people that work hard, don't you think people that work hard need to be called out to for the fact that they work hard? And not for the fact that they want to join your girl tribe?
Dude, I'm like freaking, like, we're done, guys. Like, that's all we need to talk about. Like, just take that and like, you're good. Like, wow. Yeah.
So an analogy that I like to use for this is, I want you to pretend, everybody listening, okay, that Jen just invited me over to like watch football on a Sunday night. Football season's about to come around. I don't know if Jen watches football, but maybe she's
look at me.
maybe she's like, the game's gonna be on and you can come over and have a drink, right? So I show up with like a 6-pack of my favorite craft beer, and I probably walk in the door and I crack one open and immediately like start taking a drink, because I'm like, hey, we're gonna have fun tonight. It's gonna be a good time. And Jen says to me, hey bro, before we get started, why don't we like I don't know, like go run 3 or 4 miles. I like love to run. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So let's go run 3 or 4 miles. Now, I've already cracked open a beer. Okay. And in good Josh Metro / lumber sexual style, I'm wearing my skinny jeans and my boots and some type of like button down flannel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Jen, I'm not running no fucking 3 miles right now. I cracked open a beer and I'm obviously dressed, I probably don't look like I'm dressed for football, but I'm dressed to hang out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now flip the story. And Jen says, hey, Josh, do you want to come over tonight? I was thinking we could go for a 3-mile run. I don't know about you. I know you're kind of into fitness. I'm into fitness. I figured we go do something active together first. Then we'll come back, crack open a 6-pack or some wine or whatever and watch the game. And you know what? I show up in my workout clothes.
Your high socks.
Wearing some running shoes, wearing my CrossFit socks all the way up to my knees. They're fluorescent colors. And I'm like, let's do it. And instead of walking in with a beer cracked open, me personally, I got some like pre-workout that I've already like thrown back. Mm-hmm. So everything is in the communication.
Yep.
And the expectations. And really, as if you want to throw out the word leader, which I hate to do, everything is about, did we communicate proper expectations?
Yeah.
And too many times, all we're advertising is the party on the other side. And so people show up ready to party, and then we get mad that they don't want to work. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What if we actually, so I did this in my business in the beginning of 2017, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I realized that people were paying for my groups to get access to Josh, the guy who takes everybody top 10, the guy who takes everyone elite. They weren't showing up ready to work like the people I had helped go top 10 and elite. And so I realized it in my own business and I shifted everything. I don't even call myself a life coach anymore. I changed it to push coach. People ask me, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. It means I get to make it up as I go because nobody knows what. But basically what I started preaching to people was, don't even sign up unless you're ready to work like the people you look up to. Mm-hmm. If you want to get what they got, you got to be willing to do what they did. And if you're not, don't even join my group. I don't want to work with you. Yeah. And what's crazy is my sales went up, not down. Yep. People actually appreciated the fact that I was being honest with them about what it took. Because as much as people want to believe that there is like a magic pill or formula for success, deep down in our hearts, we all know it takes hard work. Now, we will still pay way too much money for something that we think is a magic pill. We'll drop like $20,000 because someone said, if you master this one funnel hack, there is not one funnel hack. As you build your funnel, you'll realize there's like 30 different hacks along the way that you got to learn, right? Oh, yeah. Yep. We'll pay for it, right? Because that's what we want. But in reality, we know deep down that like what we really need is an ass kicking.
Oof, and this is so true.
And so what you got to do if you want to get business builders is you got to like be okay with not inviting everyone to the party. Like not everyone is not, they are not invited to the party. Okay. Here's what I'm doing is I'm helping people build a business. I'm helping people grow their dreams. I'm helping people become fulfilled, become more confident, become the best version of yourself. If you're willing to do that work, yes, you're invited to the party. If you're not willing to do that kind of work, just keep watching my stories and helping my engagement. I appreciate it. Like that's it. Yeah. We can keep, there's a party on Insta stories like all the time. Just if that's all you want, just hang there. Yeah. But stop trying to invite them to the next bigger party when in reality, the next bigger party took a lot of work and energy and effort. And no, it is not just using the products and sharing your story. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh my God. We need to unpack that for sure. I just want to quickly recap because you're saying so many like really essential things for network marketers and non-network marketers. Like the first phase here is like, you need to fulfill on your promises, take that personal responsibility. And I think what's so important about this, especially for network marketers, is I see way too many people saying, oh, well, I don't have a good enough upline. And then that person's like, well, my upline never helped me. And then that person's like, well, my upline never helped me. And then and it's like, where's the personal responsibility? This is your business. So I think that's like, if you don't have that, your business cannot go anywhere. The second thing you were talking about was expectations. And when it comes to sales, expectations are everything. And like you just said, putting higher level expectations for your people actually got them more excited. Because the truth is, if people knew what they were doing, if they knew how to do it on their own, they would have freaking done it already. So they don't want a cheerleader or babysitter. They want you to freaking be the beacon that's showing them the way. And then this last piece is like, exclude the people who are not your freaking people. Like I always use the example of Planet Fitness, that they like, I was like, they've built their business in 2017 to 429.9 million in revenue, 13.7% increase. Like we can all agree they're successful. They publicly exclude who they don't want in their gym. They've got a lunk alarm on the wall. They're like, no dropping weights, no string tank tops. They're niching into the average Joe. Publicly, unapologetically excluding who's not invited to the party. So I just like want to tie that in, because that's just like, that's everything. And people are so scared. They're so afraid to like have that clear message of, I don't want these people. So I'm curious for you, like, why do you think that's so scary for people to just tell somebody like, hey, you're not for me?
Because it goes back to what we were already talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not building your business, if you're not owning your own goals and results, you will find yourself constantly trying to use others to reach your goals and get your results. So if I'm being a punk ass over here and only talking to 10 people a month, absolutely I need to make sure I include each one of them.
Oh yeah. And then digging in the recycling bin, going back to the people you've invited 60 times. It's like, oh, I hit my numbers. Did my 60 people today.
Yeah. And it's like if you're not moving forward, you're constantly looking for someone else to move you forward. And if that's the case, you've got a scarcity mentality. And if you've got a scarcity mentality, the truth is you can't afford to lose anybody, right? Like for me personally, I mean, I get like 3 to 5 cancellations a day for my subscription group. But I've got 270 people in there. I didn't need any one of them. Now, I love every single one of them. I care about every single one of them. I believe in every single one of them, but I don't need them.
Yeah.
And something I teach in my Art of Recruiting course that used to be like the main thing that I used to push before I got sick and tired of people only building their business for 4 weeks and then never touching it again.
Yeah.
I said this, I coined this phrase: I don't need you, you need me. That is a powerful statement to make, because most people in business like need a sale. I need you to sign up. So what do I need? Well, I need to know how to overcome objections. And I don't have anything against overcoming objections, but I think there's just way too much talk out there about overcoming objections. I feel like if I give my presentation properly and I hit all of your pain points, there's no objections left. Like you ain't got no reason in the world to sign up with me other than I'm just not going to. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really get objections other than the money one. And even that one, I'm just like, okay, well, here's the thing. The group that you're giving me an objection for is like $136 a month. Okay. I said it that low on purpose because you already paid that much to sign up for your company.
Yep.
So
and you're asking other people to pay that much.
Exactly.
So, yep.
Exactly. So I'm just going to use your own medicine on you. But I literally never get any other objections. But the thing is, if someone's like, I really can't do that, got this, I'm just like, that's cool. I'm here. Like, I'm going to be here. Like, you are also on my email list. So you will see me in 30 different places every single day. You will never get away from me ever, ever, ever. So like, cool. Like, just don't sign up today, but I will see you 7 times tomorrow on Facebook, Instagram, your stories, an email broadcast, 7 different ads, which means, I don't know how many people know this, but like Facebook ads integrates with all the different articles you're reading.
Like, I will retarget your ass.
Literally, you will find me everywhere. So I'm not even worried about it.
Like, you land on my checkout page, I'm coming for you.
But if you don't own your
Yeah.
business, if you're not like doing what you should do, all of a sudden I can't afford to exclude anybody because I need every human I can possibly get.
Oh, this is so big. I mean, I talk to so many women who are in this position where they are like out to dinner with their significant other and they're just head down looking at their phone, like
Right.
freaking out because they have to respond to this person in a certain amount of time because it's like the one sale that's going to save their business.
Yeah.
And I mean, just even from like an energetic standpoint, like that is not attractive. People
Yeah.
don't want to be around somebody that's
Right.
having to be pushy and salesy and dragging someone along. And like everything you're saying is like, I don't drag people. I'm like, I don't drag people either. Like,
Right.
no thanks.
Yeah.
You're not my person.
Totally. And even in the beginning I didn't because I heard a sales call and basically said, you got to pretend you don't need the sale even when you do. And I remember taking that and being like, because at the time I needed sales real bad. And I was just like, okay, Josh, soak on this for the next 3 hours because you're going to need this over the next couple of years. And so that's just kind of like been my motto.
Yeah.
But basically it's like, for me, like, no matter how bad I need money, I don't need you to provide that money for me. And that creates, and that kind of comes from my roots as a life coach. Being a certified life coach, my greatest goal as a life coach is to believe that you have everything you already need living on the inside of you. It's not my job to give you anything. It's my job to pull that out of you. So, and that's one of the reasons I was drawn so much to life coaching, because I grew up in a world where it was like, we're going to tell you what you have to do.
Yeah.
Instead of helping empower you to do what you want. You know what I'm saying? So for me, sales is actually very similar to life coaching.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to pull out of you what's already there to help you get what you need, not manipulate you to go do the thing I need you to do.
Hey, freaking man. And like, I think what people don't recognize is if somebody is willing to have a sales conversation with you, they are already raising their hand and saying, on some level, I need help. So like, now it's your job to be the detective. And it really is life coaching. Yeah.
It is like good sales is life coaching, and life coaching is, good sales.
Yeah. It's very true.
Happens to help us out quite a bit on our free consultations, right?
Yes, just a touch.
Have a free consultation with me. FYI, this is also exactly what a sales call would look like. Thank you, life coach.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good. So good. So I'm curious too, just kind of adding on to this, we were talking a little bit before the call about how you really love like funnels and branding, and that's totally my jam. And I'm just curious, like, what do you see happening in the network marketing space? Like, what are your predictions? There's been a lot of, similar strategies that have been taught over the last couple of years. I'm seeing a lot of things with certain companies like who used to say, don't use social media. We were start at the kitchen table, we'll end there. That's my voice of those people. I just feel like it is evolving, and network marketers are starting to realize that they don't have to be in their businesses all the time, and that they can create automation, that they can grow a team. And when I say team in this context, I mean like of employees and an assistant.
Yeah, right.
I'm just curious, like, what are you seeing shifting these days?
Well, unfortunately, not as much as I'd like to see.
Yeah.
So just to give you my opinion on this, Jen, is what you provide it's very, very, very valuable. And even though it's not something I specifically like teach and train people around, it's something I'm very passionate about doing. And it's one of the reasons, just at the end of this last month, we hit multi 7 figures for basically the lifespan of my business, which is really only 4 years, because the first 2 years we didn't make any money. And I give so much of the credit to that, to my ability to automate and streamline things that allow me to do the things I'm really good at, and have everything else kind of like working on autopilot for me. And thankfully I was smart enough to set big enough goals that it forced me to find a different way to reach people, because I knew I can't talk to 1,000 people a day.
Right.
So I was, I read 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, one of my favorite books to this day. Love it so much. I live my life by that book. And my second year I did like 48,000, and I read the 10X rule and I was like, shit, add a zero. Okay. So I added a zero. So like my goal for, year 3 was my very first full-time year to find a way to make $400,000. I was like,
Wow.
I can't do that just talking one-on-one to people there. So I went looking for the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook ads was the thing I started investing in, started learning, and it was a process. Now here's, in my opinion, Jen, why more network marketers aren't doing it, and why, if you are one of the few willing to do it, you can freaking own the entire industry and have zero competition. Because at any point in time, you can go send enough invites to get a sale that it makes you lazy about creating the process and system that could deliver you 100 sales a month, 6 to 9 months down the road. So it comes back to this instant gratification thing. Like, you're going to build a funnel. You can start it today. You ain't going to make a sale today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you won't. It's actually going to cost you time, money, and energy in the beginning. But the whole point of being an entrepreneur is to invest time and money and energy at the beginning for a long-term payoff.
Yeah.
And to me, creating a funnel is like the ultimate version of that, right?
Yep.
It's
100%.
literally the exact same philosophies of becoming an entrepreneur at all. But in my opinion, it is becoming a true entrepreneur, as opposed to being just someone who's self-employed.
Amen. And what's
People,
interesting about this is with the network marketers that I've coached who have transitioned out of network marketing to create their own businesses, I find that they are still in that mindset of like starting over at the beginning of every month and having to hit like a certain number of points or a certain number of sales. And so there's a big challenge for them in particular because that's all they've ever known with business. Now all of a sudden it's like, no, we're not looking at your month to month. We're maybe looking at your like quarterly revenue and measuring your success based on that. Or like looking at the, like you said, 9-month or 12-month evolution of a funnel. And I find that looking at the long game for them, not that they're not capable of it, but they've just really been trained to look at the short-term wins.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I teach people is that true success is the ability to do both.
Yes. And I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's one of the most challenging things as a human, is to keep the end goal in mind while keeping something right in front of you that needs to be accomplished. And I think that that's the reason people are afraid of funnels, because they're afraid of anything that could distract them from the short term. And so what I teach people personally is like, you got to find a way to not pick one or the other, but to do both.
Yep.
So you do old school business the way you know how to do it, while building your funnel in the background so that you can be making sales and money, because your funnel is not going to be super successful without any money to put into it, right? Like, so I usually teach people the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of your time gives you 20% of your results, 20% gives you 80%. So I tell people, hey, if you're making like the majority of your sales doing old school Hey Girls, okay, go ahead and keep doing that for 80% of your time, okay? But take 20% of your time, okay? It's not going to kill your sales. It's not going to kill your momentum. It's not going to kill your business, okay? If anything, it's actually going to make that part of your business more fun, because you get like a little break from it.
Yeah.
To go have some creative time, watch a video with Jen, maybe work on some graphics, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, the mundane stuff actually becomes more exciting because you got a little bit of a break from it.
That's so true. Yeah.
And so, give yourself a year to just say, I'm going to invest in the rest of my life so that I can be like one of my favorite humans on the planet. Her name's Melissa McAllister. She's been top 10 in her company. Nobody even knows how many years in a row. I think it's like 8 years in a row.
Damn.
And the girl is like in Mexico every other week. Mexico, Italy, Spain, you know what I mean? And it's because Chalene Johnson taught her how to set up a funnel like 15 years ago.
Yep.
And so the girl is still hitting top 10 numbers, still earning like crazy, but also, has several assistants. I'm trying to catch up with her. I think we just added like our third one to the team a couple
Yeah.
months ago. I'm trying to catch up with her. Um, and she knows what to do and what to let be done.
Yes.
And that's a really important part of being an entrepreneur. Is it's not your job to do everything. And if it is, good luck, because think of any successful company on the planet. Was Steve Jobs manufacturing the phones? No, he was birthing the ideas and then giving that vision to other people to do the work, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like what you said earlier. You build a team because you know that's the most important thing to do as a network marketer. Have lots, but you don't always think about building your own team, meaning
Yep.
like, who's creating the Facebook groups for you? God, I hope you're not. Who's making graphics for you? Can I just publicly say, every one of you out there needs to stop making your own logos.
Yes.
You are the worst. Okay? Like, pay somebody for a logo. Pay somebody. You want to have a team logo? Great. Good for you. Stop trying to do it yourself. You did it in Word Art or Word Swag, one or the other. And we can all tell. We all use Word Swag. We know those fonts. Okay.
Dying. I'm dying. I will never recover it. That is like literally the funniest shit I've ever heard, because it's so true. I'm like, don't make your Facebook cover photo.
Yeah.
Like, I love you guys, but it looks like a kindergarten art project.
It looks so bad, and
It's
nobody's
nobody's
going to your page and being like, "Wow, this looks legit," right? Like,
hire this person.
like, can we be real about something? If you do network marketing, people already think you're a scam. So please don't give them evidence.
Oh no.
Like, at least go out of your way to look like you're literally just giving them fuel to like put on their fire.
Yep.
They're like, this might be a scam. I don't know. Honey, would you come look at this? And then they take you to your page and then see that. And the husband's like, that's a scam.
Yeah.
If that person is asking for $200, that's a, and I'm not trying to say everyone needs to have perfect graphics, and
No.
I'm like totally anti the whole you need to have your own like celebrity page and you need to like have like your own celebrity like highlight reel going on in your store. I'm so anti that, but I'm also pro get the right people to do the right things.
Hells yes. And before somebody listening to this goes, well, I can't afford that. Guess what? Or I don't know where to start. Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, Craigslist. Like, you can post in some virtual assistant Facebook groups, some graphic designer Facebook groups. There are people who want to build their portfolio, who will probably even do it for free if you refer some friends, like for $5 for a logo. Like, there are people out there who are way better than you at creating graphics, and it will not take them, or maybe it will take them all day, but it'll only cost you like $10. So
right.
Yeah, before that comes in.
Even with 3 assistants, I still send some stuff to Fiverr, you know, like for some of my assistants, it's not worth it to spend a couple hours trying to figure out how to turn one of my PDFs into an EPUB so that people can download it straight into their iBooks. So even my assistants will send projects to Fiverr because it's going to cost us $5 or $10. And now all of a sudden, you know, something that would have just got downloaded as like a Word document or a PDF now imports straight into your iBooks, and it just looks like more legit, right?
Yep.
We paid $5 or $10 to look more legit.
Worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth our time to learn how to do that because I don't really care how, like, just get it done for me.
Do not want to spend my energy there. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. This is so freaking good. I absolutely loved this conversation. I feel like we could talk all day. There's so many nuggets that you've just shared. Where can people go to learn more about you?
Yes. So you can come hang with me over on Instagram. I don't have a celebrity show going on my stories, but it's Josh Coates _push coach. And then of course my website is just myname.com, joshcoates.com. If you want to subscribe for my newsletter, I send out basically very swift kicks to the feet on a pretty daily basis. So if you need knocked on your ass, I'll basically do it for you every single day.
He's like, I got you. And also your podcast.
Oh yeah. And my good call, Jen. Good call, Jen.
I got you.
Also check out my podcast. It's called Your Push Coach. Boom. Your Push Coach.
Awesome. And we will link all of that up for you guys in the show notes. Josh, this was freaking awesome. Thank you so much for just sharing so abundantly. I know there's going to be people who need to go back and listen to this a second and a third and a fourth time. So guys, if you loved this episode, come tag us on your Instagram stories at HeyJenCasey, at JoshCoates_pushcoach. Let us know what was your biggest takeaway from today. We would love to continue the conversation with you over there and hear some of your big breakthroughs from this conversation. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Josh, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.